Playing in the top right as our red Protoss, working his way through the lower bracket, it is PartinG.
Here in the bottom of Orbital Shipyard, the Zerg Hope is Firecake.
Earning himself quite a few fans this tournament, not only with his play, but with his interviews. He's came across as quite a likable chappy, and quite rightly so. In this game, however, let's see what's happening. He is opting for a hatchery first, and this is one of the maps where you can safely expand. You have an expansion right there in the back of your base, so to get to it, you have to go through the main, meaning that in this game, we'll see both players opt for that.
There is definitely an opportunity for proxy gateways on this map as well, but Firecake, look at that Overlord path. He's going to, he's searching for those proxy gates. It's probably happened to him in practice, but nothing like that is happening here. PartinG also going for a very macro-oriented build with the Nexus first into the gateway. Firecake actually following this up with the gas, as we have seen from players earlier on in this tournament as well, from Nerchio and Solar as well at times.
It's interesting to think about Firecake. He was waiting for two very different PvZers there. So Showtime, he liked the macro builds, he liked the methodical play, whereas PartinG, he's the kind of guy that will jump on an opportunity to kill you. We saw him using the 3 aggressive pylons, separating the natural and the third. So Firecake, upon going into this matchup, what do you think we'll mainly see from him?
I think he will just stick to his safe, tested style, the macro play. I'm a little bit curious about what this gas is going to be used for, of course, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some sort of third base play and some sort of power play like Roach, Ravager, Lurker, possibly some Mutalisk in there, but definitely, the way I know Firecake, he likes to macro up. Yes,
Firecake, very well known for his Swarm host there. In fact, he holds the record for one of the longest games in history against a Mano, your teammate, in which he showcased a lot of patience there. So patience is something that he does not lack. So if it really does get down to the nitty-gritty, he is capable of going the distance.
PartinG also a very aggressive player, but we shouldn't count him out when it comes to being patient. We saw that in the series against Showtime, how patient he was using those Disruptors and Tempest against Showtime, both playing very patient styles there. And I don't think with this much on the line that PartinG will find himself in a spot where he overextends against someone like Firecake here.
Oh, we can both briefly see each other there. PartinG does see the timing of the third exactly when it goes down, which is pretty significant. He knows he's not significantly behind in economy at the moment.
This does tell him that there's something a little bit weird on the way. That the third base of Firecake much later than usual.
What do you think it would be? There are a lot of openings for
the evolution
Zerglings to get inside the base. Yeah,
the evolution chamber just completed. So I expect this to be some sort of speedling drop to begin with. And PartinG actually going for a very quick Stargate and Oracle here. And hoping we haven't really seen a whole lot in this tournament versus Zerg so far.
Now, Zergling speed is complete, meaning that he can go quite frantic with those Zerglings.
Oh, look at this Overlord positioning.
It's beautiful pylon placement, though, as well. He sees these Zerglings actually outside his base already.
Yeah, and even the Adept Shade they're going to check. They sees the Zerglings. It should be fairly obvious to PartinG right now what's going to happen.
We do see the Overlord upgrading here. And he could hold this off quite handsomely, and this Overlord...
Oh, look at the Oracle. Almost, oh, it actually goes into Overlord vision. A little bit surprising there. At first, it looked like PartinG was trying to dodge it. But Firecake saw it now and Spores on the way. I think this was a huge mistake by PartinG, revealing that Oracle.
Huge mistake by PartinG, but this Overlord will get shut down.
That's the pylon placement for you.
No Zerglings in the main base of PartinG. That is definitely something that works in his favor amazingly. Now,
that got shut down so hard. Big loss there for Firecake.
What do you think about this Void Ray that's on the way? This Oracle does get shut down. It was spotted by Firecake, so nice for him to build Spores. Not taking it lightly, but this Void Ray, Snoop.
This Void Ray is a little bit of an odd choice, but it's very, very good against things like Roach, Ravager timing, small pokes. Anything that would try to deny PartinG's third would be dealt with very, very well by the Mothership Core and the Void Ray. Additionally, PartinG will be able to clear out any Overlords around his own base, so he will be able to cover for 90 Swarms. He will be able to, in general, just remove a lot of the aggressive options and more importantly, the scouting options for Zerg.
Zerg has scouted that third is going down, and he got to see where and when. That's nice of him. This Oracle, despite there being Spore Crawler defense, he's getting quite a bit of damage done. So PartinG, with his nice micro there, still getting damage done.
Yeah, despite the drop failing, the evolution chamber is far from useless as the +1 melee attack is about to complete. And this technology choice from Zerg usually indicates that you're either going up to Hive, Ultralisk, circling heavy styles that require a lot of gas. It could be circling Lurker, circling Ravager, circling Muta. There's a lot of choices for Firecake from this point.
Adept upgrade. And we're seeing a robotics facility being completed too. How do you see...
This could be one of those mass adept timings. We've seen it succeed sometimes. And whoa, these overlords being grouped up together, just left to die.
Yes, this is a nice pick-off for PartinG, and the Queen comes, but that's 2 overlords immediately dead. And
oh, could even get the Queen possibly here.
oh man, this is 3 overlords dead now. Multiple drones dying too. Wow, this is just 2 units.
I think this just might trigger PartinG to go for a massive offensive here. He has the adept upgrade on the way. He has the +1 finishing. Still just making pro stuff, but his probe count is so high, and I feel like these simple mistakes from Firecake, just the way that he opened, the way that his harassment failed, just investing into gas to begin with, everything got shut down so hard by PartinG.
PartinG's all over Firecake this game, and just with a few units too. I wouldn't be surprised if the unit's resources lost have was something around over 1,000.
Wow,
yes, look at that.
Single unit lost for PartinG.
Yeah, PartinG playing amazingly well. The Oracle does fly into danger here, doesn't really get much damage and gets attacked, so does he get to see the Spire? He does! So
absolutely, but if anything, this is going to prompt PartinG to be even more aggressive. Firecake, however, did get the safety Roach Warren, and that's going to be a very good defensive option for him. If PartinG attacks before the Spire will complete, you know, maybe PartinG is actually going to wait a little bit for the Mutas to pop and then go for a big attack. We'll have to wait and see.
opting to go for Blink to sort out those Mutas, which I like, rather than adding on Phoenix and such. And he's already getting a lot of good upgrades here too, +2 weapons on the way, but Firecake's keeping up in that regard.
Yeah, having that 4th base cancelled though means that Firecake's technology play is not going to be that strong. Gases number 7 and 8, long away here for Firecake, and this is going to limit the amount of Mutas, Ravagers, etc. that he can make during the next few minutes.
That's
big engagement
a
though.
lot of Zerglings.
And there's no Mothership Core, so he cannot retreat here.
Whoa, he just popped off a lot of those sentries
wow,
there.
And all of a sudden, PartinG seems to be in trouble.
Oh, whoa, that is a lot of Adepts that just totally flew into the space.
But they're all going to be sacrificed, I believe.
They could well be, they could well be. They're trying to get into the main there. The cooldown for the Shade is here, and they are now in the main. And where is PartinG now?
They are indeed dealing with a lot of the strugglings, but I can't help but feel that this is an overextension from PartinG.
PartinG is everywhere.
We'll see though, this is a very violent battle here as the Adepts just continue to destroy drones left and right here.
Oh man, that attack upgrade.
Wow, look at the supplies. All of a sudden these Shades, these Adepts are paying off in dividends.
Yeah, those Adepts dealing a lot of damage, and again, flying out of control. The Warp Prism still not dealt with. Yes, a few shots are going on it now.
All of a sudden. At first, I was very concerned for PartinG, but he's making it work.
If there's something PartinG can do well, it's attack and non-stop aggression.
Wow,
should be his middle name.
Firecake just being pulled apart on his own 3 bases. Can you believe it?
Look at this worker count. 50 drones have fell. 51 in this single attack.
Amazing display of harassment here from PartinG. Absolutely destroying the entire economy of Firecake. Firecake has no staying power in this game, long term.
No, 14 workers now, 16 against the 66 of PartinG. PartinG's fully minding.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Insult to injury there.
Yeah, he doesn't even get the second stasis either, so these Zerglings locked in position for a good 30 seconds or so. And this Oracle gets to see where the army is, and that isn't a scary squad moving out across the map. Now, PartinG can just get ready to deal with it.
Yeah, all he has to do from this point and out is find a suitable finishing blow and just go for it. Produce mass something. It could be mass Stalker, it could be mass Adept. Honestly, at this point,
could be anything.
Could be anything.
He could win with mass Charge Lot. In fact, that sounds like a pretty good option at this point. But anyhow, Pylon overcharges is activated. Now they're trapped. The Disruptor shot. Protoss on Ruse of Ceres in the top left. It is PartinG. Gonna eat Firecake's baguette.
Here in the bottom, the man with the baguette, it's Firecake.
That game definitely didn't go according to plan. The Oracle did more damage than it should have, despite being scouted very early. Even the Void Ray managing to pick off a good 4 or 5 overlords just marching across the map there. So Firecake was put under pressure right from the get-go, and his attempt at pressure just got immediately shut down. So let's hope for Firecake that this game goes a little bit more his way.
Yeah, the first map, Orbital Shipyard, was PartinG's map choice, and this is Firecake's map choice, Ruins of Siras. Kind of interesting, not going for the gold base right away, gold base map right away. Prion Terraces, that's also one of Firecake's choices later on. But Firecake seems to be very comfortable here on Ruins of Siras. Probably going to go for some more big macro play.
What worries me a little bit with this series now is PartinG won that doing what PartinG does, just overpowering his opponent and winning with micro and aggression. And given that he's been a little bit shaky earlier on in the day, worrying about his condition, it now seems that he's gathering confidence. And right now he went up against a Zerg that just had no idea what to do against him or just couldn't keep up. And with a player like PartinG, his confidence is just going to keep on spiraling and spiraling out of control.
Yeah, very, very promising for a potential rematch versus Solar in the grand finals here at Dreamhack. PartinG going for the Probe Scout, but doesn't find Firecake's base just yet. Does know, though, that Firecake has to spawn in the bottom left.
Certainly does. So this Probe getting the last scout in. So will this Probe actually be able to make it in the base? Well, he's going to scout the third, and he is going to see that his opponent has actually gone for 3. In fact, whoa!
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Whoa.
That is a very, very quick 4th hatchery. Will PartinG see it, though? Doesn't seem like it.
Who does this?
Firecake does this.
Do you know, I've actually seen Firecake one time in the old map pool in Heart of the Swarm. It was against your teammate again, Liquid Mana.
Absolutely, it was on
Fredbite,
Deadwing. I remember this one.
And he went 4 hatchery before pool even, then just overwhelmed his opponent. So Firecake, definitely one of the guys that can do this. I love the fact he's bringing out the big guns here.
This is about as greedy as it gets, but at the same time, it's also a build that allows map control because you get the early circling speed as well. If there's one build you can truly get everything with, seemingly, it's this one.
My gosh, so PartinG, upon getting up his Nexus, going for the Robo facility here.
2 circlings and the Adept just passing each other there.
Friendly stroll on the street, saying hello.
Nothing to see here.
Now this Adept, he's obviously going to want to get damage done, but his main role here, I guess, is scouting just to check what's up.
Might get a drone kill.
Oh,
drone getting a little bit low.
Can turn to extractors if needs be.
Nice.
Does save both of them.
Nice saves there by Firecake. Let's see if PartinG chooses to commit here into the main. I would expect PartinG to at least have some desire to check out the gas timing. And there we go. Adept goes in.
Whoa, he's stopped mining gas with all but one drone here. This Adept is going to town on these drones. The drones are
Having
pulled.
to pull all of them. This is not good for Firecake's income, and also losing an Overlord here to one of PartinG's Stalkers. Behind this, PartinG is teching up very well also, and this is already a massive amount of damage for a build that's supposed to be a strong economy opening from Firecake. He has to invest into so much defense here.
Yeah, so far it's not gone Firecake's way, losing 4 drones to the Adept, losing an Overlord on the map too, to a Stalker.
Over time though, it's still 4 hatcheries. That's a lot of larva production, it's a lot of economy available to Firecake. Might be a problem for PartinG over time here.
Yeah, I mean, if PartinG did know that he was opting for this 4 hatchery style, maybe he would have gone even harder on the aggression, because so far it's just one Adept that he sent across the map. And right now, as time goes by, it's just playing into Firecake's hands.
Speed Prism with Disruptors in it is the choice of PartinG here as he's chrono boosting that Robotics Bay. War Prism eager to get going with that expensive payload, ready to deal some damage in Firecake's base and further disrupt Firecake's economy.
And if you're Firecake here on 4 bases, let's say you knew that you're up against Disruptors and Warp Prisms here, what would you be doing? What would be your reaction to this?
Disruptor drops are a very tough thing to deal with. I feel like
Does he have the tower? Does he have the tower with a Zergling?
Does he have the tower?
No,
he does not. And there's no Overlords here.
Wow.
The Stalker cleared out one of the initial ones, but there's no Overlord here as well, and the first Disruptor here is ready to cause some trouble.
Let's see what gets done here. This is a big Disruptor ball. There's drones.
Splitting though.
Decent splits. 3 drones only dead, and he did give away his tech path. But right now, 48 probes to the 36
Firecake,
workers.
Look at this. Firecake is only making units. He's making 5 Ravages at a time, only massing Speedlings.
It's almost as if he wanted to get scouted to make his opponent play aggressive into his hands, but PartinG never scouted that 4th.
Yeah, that's a very possible opportunity, especially in the way that Firecake played versus Nacho earlier. That's one of the strategies he used, trying to bait his opponent into attacking into you. But right now, it doesn't seem like it's working. PartinG just staying on 2 bases, staying on a superior working count, and going for the harass again, but this time with Adept.
Oh man, this is not looking too great for Firecake. Yes, he has some Ravagers, which we know.
Oh! Losing those all-important Ravagers, you need those to break down the pylons, but now there's no corrosive biles to take down this wall off with. And Firecake finds himself in so much trouble.
Man, Firecake is just getting torn apart this game. The resources lost now can't be too healthy for Firecake either. No, 1,600 resources lost compared to the 175.
Oh,
the disruptor. Oh, that's a lot of Zerglings dying. Is he going to get off? Playing so confident,
that control from PartinG. He knows how long it takes for those Zerglings to actually kill a disruptor. And in the meantime, look at this confident expand. He's just playing around with Firecake's emotions right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Zerg on the field now, so if PartinG does take a straight-up engagement, he'll get surrounded and lose, but he's not going to let that happen, and he's harassing while all this is going on.
Firecake trying to get back on his feet, making a lot of drones, and finally starting to catch up in the work account.
Oh, commanding play by PartinG here.
But there's no answer to this Warp Prism with disruptors in it, and the disruptor count just keeps increasing.
Oh, this Warp Prism though, this is one of the first victories, but a second Warp Prism joins the fray. Oh dear, and damage being done.
2 Ravagers falling once more. This has to feel terrible for Firecake as the harassment and the amazing micro from PartinG just continues.
Yeah, PartinG's not faltering on that Warp Prism control at all, and his Disruptor shot stealing quite a lot of damage, putting up his third again. Only Zerglings marching across the map, and you're against a pretty significant Protoss army. This isn't looking good for Firecake, but amidst all this, he still managed to get a bit of a worker lead going on.
Still droning, but the technology is very, very late for Firecake. He only has Zerglings. I'm not even sure if the lair is complete. And soon to be at his front door, PartinG is advancing on to Firecake.
And this is scary, and Firecake is obviously trying to buy time, trying to pick off possible reinforcements, but the reinforcements are going to come along with that Warp Prism, so his attempts are in vain here. Now he's on the third base of Firecake. Luckily, he does have a fourth, so if he loses this, it's not entirely out of the game, but how does he kill this army?
Yeah, PartinG looking to end things, saying that if you have only drones, you have no army. As he's looking to close this out. Quite a few units going down here for PartinG, but with these Warpins, I don't think Firecake will be able to hold this. 56 army supply to 20.
Oh, and in all of that, I saw units going into the Warp Prism from afar, so PartinG making sweet work of those new Protoss mechanics there. Really, really hard play, and he does actually know about the fourth here, so where is he going to go? Is he just going to go for the throw or slowly pick apart Firecake's arms?
Yeah. So far, PartinG taking a big bite out of that French baguette. Looking like he's about to go up to 3-0, to be honest. This was a very one-sided game.
It was incredibly one-sided. PartinG, again, right from the get-go, just shuts down his opponent.
Yeah, Firecake defending as well as he can, but the Protoss power is just overwhelming. Here on Ruins of Terraz, PartinG takes it, going up 2-0 against Firecake.
Certainly did. First game, shut down the Overlord drop, did some Oracle harass, some Void Ray harass, and managed to pick out a victory that way with a massive Adept follow-up. But this game, just some spawning in the bottom left, as our red Protoss currently looking unstoppable against Firecake. It is PartinG.
Spawning here in the top, it is the blue Zerg, Firecake. Has to win every single remaining map in this series in order to come back.
So far, we haven't really got to see Firecake truly shine. Against Solar in the first map, he actually looked amazingly solid.
Absolutely.
Pushing Solar right to the limit, and at one point being a good 40 supply ahead with a bank too, but then slowly just fell apart, and Solar learned to read him. He learned to know what he was doing. Maybe knowing that, hey, if this guy plays like me and knows or does what I do, then I know him better than he knows himself. But in this matchup here, PartinG's just been aggressive and made all the right moves to decimate and really tear apart his opponent.
Yeah, I really like PartinG's approach to the matchup, just staying very safe and at the same time having some quality harassments to interrupt the flow of the Zerg. Zerg can be very strong if left untouched. You definitely don't want to be sitting back against the Zerg, doing absolutely nothing and letting them expand as much as they want. PartinG just did everything right here to interrupt Firecake's game flow.
Now this game, we have PartinG going for a Nexus first. And that doesn't mean he's not going to play aggressive. It just probably means, given that it's PartinG, he's going to delay his aggression, and probably when he goes, he really goes for it. I don't think you can really one-base a Zerg reliably in Legacy of the Void. But with this Probe Scout, he will get to see, hey, my opponent went for a pretty macro-centric build too.
Yeah,
and he's not going to worry too much.
Yeah, even if there's an early gas, there are only so many options, especially on a map like Dusk Towers, where it's very difficult to actually attack up this narrow ramp. Of course, there is the possibility for Overlord drops as well. We saw that attempted a little bit earlier from Firecake in the beginning of the series, but PartinG also dealt with that masterfully. And this probe hiding here in the corner, very nice touch for PartinG in order to check the timing of the third, but Firecake sniffs out the probe, makes it have to go away.
Probe still did his job though, still got to see when that third went down. Probes hiding on the map aren't always necessarily hook probes where they hope to put down a proxy pylon. They're also there to find out info, especially in Legacy of the Void. And we see a Stargate opening from PartinG in this game, and yet again, and we got to see that in great effect in game one.
Yeah, I feel like the Stargate itself, the Oracle didn't do all too much because it was scouted, but the Void Ray really just made sure to keep the game on lockdown. And the Oracle was also great. It's a very solid choice overall because you can use the Revelation, you can keep tabs on what type of technology that Zerg is going for. So I like this choice from PartinG. The Stargate will allow him to adapt very well to what Firecake's doing.
The Void Ray also makes it quite difficult for you to do any sort of Ravager roll, and as you're constantly under pressure from this Void Ray, he can quite easily move out the shots if he does so please.
Yeah, and especially on a map like this, just towers being so large, it's going to be very difficult for Roaches and Ravagers to move across this map. And I think Firecake now, dropping down this Evolution Chamber, will go for those +1 melee upgrades, potentially into some Mutalist play later on. Also possible with some Ravager play or Hive Tech play. So I like it a lot, Firecake, going for the long-term game here.
Not thinking about any Ling Drop play here, and again, the Void Ray follow-up, so this is a build that PartinG is obviously very fond of. Going through.
Is Firecake maybe going to try to cancel the third here? He's making quite a few links here.
The fact that he's kind of halting on his ling count now, the fact that you don't need to get up that cannon anymore, you can just rely on getting the pylons up to deflect lings.
Yeah, the pylons deal with the Zerglings so well, and PartinG moving his Oracle in here. Oh,
great moves by Firecake, avoiding the lasers of the Oracle. Now it's just the Queen trying to 1v1 that Oracle, and
who wins? Probably the Oracle.
As we know.
Oh, and now the drones get picked off though. 4 drones falling, and the larva as well. Wow.
I tell you what.
The Oracle definitely paid off, despite it seeming like it wouldn't in the first place.
Started off so well.
This seems awfully similar to the first game here. Firecake just taking so many losses early on by simple, small mistakes, and PartinG just going for the builds that allow him to capitalize on these mistakes.
Yeah, and that supply lead, should it really be happening at this point in time as drastically as it is happening? I'm not sure.
It always takes a little bit of time for Zerg's true economy to kick in and get those supplies up.
Booming.
But you're right, like Firecake should be so much further in supply than he currently is. PartinG's just making probes like a madman. He's so far ahead in economy.
Even with these 8 drones that Firecake's powering out at this point in time, he's still playing catch-up.
Yeah, when it comes to the technology game as well, they're fairly even. Firecake's lair is almost complete, and the Robo is on the way for PartinG. Twilight Council is up as well, +1, about the same on the way. Like, both players are very even in tech, but PartinG is so much further ahead in army and work account.
This is so reminiscent of Game 1, Snoot. We are seeing the Adept upgrade. We're also seeing a lot of gateways being produced, Warp Prism being produced, even the +1 attack again. This is almost a mirror image.
Yeah, big revelation going down in the main of Firecake as well, revealing to PartinG what's going on there.
Even more gateways.
Yeah.
One thing that Firecake does have on his side, I suppose, is the fact that he did go for that very early plus melee upgrade, and if he can survive for long enough, he can possibly keep this one up too.
Remember this one, the 4th base getting cancelled on Orbital Shipyard? Well, seems to be happening again, most likely. Not Queen getting to defend.
That Queen is there.
It's a little bit better off than in the first game here. Firecake defending against this Void Ray, and if PartinG doesn't pay attention, he might lose it.
Wow, and you know, that's quite a loss. Overlords can roam free on the map once
Yeah,
again.
a little bit sloppy there by PartinG. He must have been focusing elsewhere. The army, though, is moving across the map. Maybe this is what PartinG was looking at, just finalizing his build before this timing.
Ooh, the stasis here. Just get a few Zerglings,
only
but
gets a few Zerglings.
still, they kind of work out like little force fields, I guess. And maybe they're trapped there, doomed to die against this mass amount of Adepts here. And look at the work account, too. PartinG's ahead.
These Adepts are going to make mincemeat of the
Oh.
Zerglings. Wow, and also sectioning off the Roaches. The Roaches do so well against the Adepts. But they were left out of the fight, and PartinG will be able to secure a very nice position here on the left-hand side of this fourth.
And that
the Ravages, though.
That fourth we talked about is going to fall. Is he going to go to those shades? No.
Very nice there by PartinG, not jumping on those Ravagers. I'm pretty sure if he did, all of those Adepts would go down to those Ravager shots. But not happening this time. A very cute stasis trap here going down, but not able to trap any units so far.
Not any so far, but all it takes is one stasis to really...
Do you think Firecake can catch this army off guard now?
I think he can. That's a lot of
massive
Ravagers too.
Such a weird position here, such a weird engagement. All the Ravagers being stoned out by these force fields and unable to participate in the fight. And look at the Adept, just shredding all the Circlings.
Oh man, and damage is being done once again in the base of Firecake. Is PartinG making this happen yet again? He uses the Adepts in the natural. The Warp Prism still in the main. He can still reinforce this. 9 drones dead. That number is going to keep on increasing rapidly at this rate.
Was to melee completing for Firecake, but there are almost no Circlings left. Trying to trickle out a few Circling reinforcements to deal with these Adepts. But even if they attack faster, the Adepts still have a lot of hit points and deal with Circlings very quickly. Warp Prism being forced
look
into
at that
retreat.
too. Gets the Warp Prism out just in the nick of time.
Such a good reaction time for PartinG, just being able to keep those very important Warp Prisms alive. And now he's pressing the front, trying to close this out 3-0. Will he be able to?
That's a lot of Stalkers joining the fray. Very decent at dealing damage, but mainly staying alive. And now it's just Ravagers left on the map. PartinG's making this look easy. He's making PvZ look so imbalanced, but for so long people have talked about it being the other way round.
Yeah, these Ravagers just haven't been able to do what they have to do because of this force field and the playing to confident blink forward. PartinG showing his strength here in the third game versus Firecake, ready to take on Solar in the grand finals here at Dreamhack.
And GG, PartinG takes it 3-0. He looks unstoppable in PvZ right now. We're seeing a totally different PvZ in him.
Making it look easy.
Man, first TY 3-2, then Showtime 3-1. Now Firecake 3-0. He's just getting better and better in this tournament.
Next opponent, though, is the big boss, Solar. Will PartinG be able to show as good of a PvZ as he did here in this Firecake?
I mean, Solar so far has been the one to beat, only dropping 1 map in the entire tournament, and it was 2. This man currently sitting on stage. And we're going to go find out what he thinks after that match, so take it away, Smix.
Thank you very much to Muslim. Oh my God, PartinG, 7 months ago, you were at Dreamhack in Tours, France. And you became the champion there, and now, at your next Dreamhack here in the first Legacy of the Void Premier Tournament, you're in the grand finals once again. How do you feel about that?
일단 그 지난번에 프랑스에서도 첫 드림하크에서 우승했었고 이번에 이제 첫 공허 대회에서도 이제 결승 진출됐어요. 일단 첫 소감 얘기해 주세요.
일단 그렇게 또 들으니까 정말 좀 신기하고 기분이 좋고요. 이제 마지막 보스인 솔라 선수가 남았는데 캠페인에서 보면은 프로토스가 자기의 아이어 행성을 찾잖아요. 그것처럼 오늘 제가 프로토스 대표로 저그 인바 사기 종족을 꺾고 우승하도록 하겠습니다.
So PartinG says, first of all, hearing you say it like that makes me feel pretty good about it. You know, I didn't think about it like that before, so that makes me very happy. And now I'm going up against the final boss, Solar, in the grand finals. And if you guys look at the StarCraft floor, you know, the Protoss, they fight for their home country, Ire. And just like that, in this tournament, as the lone Protoss representative, I will make sure to fight for Ire and defeat the imbalanced Zerg race Solar, is what PartinG just said. Now, PartinG, Today you've had a sort of crazy day of games. You first had a really intense series, 3-2 against TY, then 3-1, another intense PvP series against Showtime, and this series was a little bit better, 3-0 with Firecake. So it seems like your form is only getting better and better. Is this a hint of what we're going to be looking at in your game against Solar? 일단 그 시작에는 3대2 전태양 선수를 이겼고 그다음에 3대1 쇼타임, 그다음에 3대0 파이어케이크 이렇게 이겼는데 점점점 더 잘해가는 것 같은데 그게 우리가 이제 그 강민수 선수의 경기에 볼 어떻게 잘 될 것 같으세요?
왜 잘해졌냐면은 술 기운이 깨가지고 다시 파팅으로 돌아온 것 같아요.
He says, it's really, really simple. I'm not hungover anymore. The partying is back. And with that, we have our two grand finalists set. It will be PartinG versus Solar at the Rockcat Legacy of the Void Championships. Nathanius, back to you.
Thank you very much, Mix. We have our grand finals set up, boys. PvZ, the only man to have taken a map off Solar, seems fitting he should be the one to hand him the trophy.
I think if it was any other final, or any other finalist, should I say, it probably would have been very one-sided in favor of Solar, even with Showtime. But this should be, and will most likely provide the best games for the final.
You know, when you looked at the competitor list for this tournament, I think this is the final that everybody wanted. This is the closest final. This is a brand new game. If you want to learn strategies and builds and how to be the best player you can possibly be in this game, these are the guys you learn it from. If there's any other player that I think could have had the potential to beat Solar, at least from what Solar's been saying, it might have been Nurchio, given that he's kind of weak in CVZ. But yeah, of the guys that have had a chance so far, he's the only one to take a map.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting to note that in the same vein that you mentioned, these are going to be the strategies that people will be studying. You know, every Protoss player that wants to kind of figure out the game, they're going to be going Stalker, Disruptor, into Tempest on ladder against other Protoss players. The Zerg players are going to be doing these weird builds with Ravagers or Lurkers or what have you. And they're setting the pace, Apollo, and I think this grand final is going to be one that many people will try to base their strategies off of. There won't be, as far as I'm aware, another big offline Premier tournament like this for quite some time.
I agree with you, bro.
This series, man, it was brutal. The condition of Firecake's baguette definitely in question after that pressure. The pressure builds he tried himself weren't that great.
Well,
where did it all go wrong?
Well, the baguette got taken whether he liked it or not. But his style, his approach, I don't think he didn't play as if he was very confident. Snoop, what do you think?
Just a little bit of build order mistakes, I feel, from Firecake. A lot of openings that didn't really set him up for the type of economic game that he most likely would find himself much more comfortable in. Some weird, cute attempts, such as the Overlord drop on Orbital Shipyard. Lots of Overlords going down, such as the Overlord on Steras to the Stalker. Just very difficult for Firecake, and also a little bit of weird decisions, such as going for the 4-hatch build and then only making units instead of actually powering up the economy. Just a few questionable decisions here and there, and also just not being able to find any holes in PartinG's defense.
Could be nerves as well, you know. Like Firecake, he hasn't played on the big stage a hell of a lot. And over in WCS, where he did pretty okay, you mainly play on a stage not in front of an audience as big as this one, you know, and playing in the soundproof booth as well. But hope to see good things from Firecake in the future.
Yeah,
I mean,
we have to give him some credit.
Yeah.
Third place here at Dreamhack.
It's still a good result. You know,
it's a very good result.
All things said and done, he certainly achieved something that, you know, any of the other non-Korean players especially would have really wanted to get. Can PartinG be happy with a second? Can Solar be happy with a second place, being that it's the first Void tournament?
So nobody is happy with the second.
No one's happy with the second. Let's just get that out of the way now, Nate.
all right.
I think Solar would be very upset if he was to lose this. I think he's fully expecting to win.